Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Well, hello, my gorgeous, good looking friends. I am back today with something special. This week's Us Weekly magazine has Prince Harry on its cover talking about his book, Spare. I found some really interesting tidbits that I thought I would share with you guys. But first off, let's talk about the writer for this cover story. Her name is Jamie Harkin, and she is a freelance writer in New York City who contributes to these magazines that have traditionally been pro Sussex in the past. Now, I don't see that this freelance writer is high ranking in this magazine, which leads me to believe that the sources mentioned are possibly sources from other media outlets. That's just my guess, but I always leave it up to you to let me know what you think. The article begins: since his 2020 departure from official royal life, Prince Harry has been slowly but surely opening up more and more about what he experienced while growing up behind the palace doors. Quoted from the docuseries on mental health, The Me You Can't See, he says, "Family members have said just to play the game and your life will be easier. I feel as though I am outside of the system, but I'm still stuck there. The only way to free yourself and break out," he added, "is to tell the truth." The article continues and says, a source says he's done exactly that in Spare, his upcoming memoir set to hit shelves on January 10th, 2023. Despite earlier reports that Harry, 38, had softened the book following the September 8th death of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, the prince has stuck to his plans for a no-holds-barred approach. According to the source, he touches on everything from his mother's tragic passing to his ongoing feuds with his brother, Prince William, and his father, King Charles III. And in quotes, "It's much worse than people think," dishes the source. Harry doesn't consider it to be a takedown. He sees it as simply telling his story. But there will be casualties. Now, for some reason, I feel like this was stated in one of those news pieces, either by GB News or it could be on ITV. I don't know, but I feel like I've heard this quote before, and it is a royal biographer who had disclosed this quote. So when I'm thinking about the sources that they're mentioning in this article, I'm thinking these sources are coming from what we are seeing in the British tabloids as well as the British news feeds. Just my opinion. The article continues. It says, "The firm is on high alert," in quotes. Harry's critical of everyone and everything, and he goes into intimate detail about his childhood and his rift with his family, spills the source. Since being crowned king, Charles, 73, has yet to decide about royal titles for Harry, his wife, Meghan Markle, 41, and their children, Archie, 3, and 17-month-old Lilibet. The source says he's waiting to see just how harmful Harry's memoir is before making a final call. Now, in quotes, it says, "The book is hanging over Charles, so he will hold off knowing that if something published is irreparable, he can strip his son, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren of their titles." A second source says Charles' wife, Queen Consort Camilla, is scared. She'll be raked over the coals. She and Harry never really hit it off. Are we sure about this?
No, she is. She's a wonderful woman, and she's made our father very, very happy, which is the most important thing. William and I love her to bits, get on really well with her, and as far as I see it, nothing's changed.
Now, this next segment of the article is new news to me. It says, Harry believes he's sharing a fair account of his life. Harry doesn't feel he's doing wrong by his father or anyone else in the royal family, says a third source. He just wants to set the record straight once and for all. Harry's been the subject of rumors since he was a baby, adds the source. For years, there was talk that Princess Diana's former lover, James Hewitt, was Harry's biological father, not Prince Charles. While Harry never addressed the whispers before, the source notes that they were a huge source of pain for Harry. Now, if this segment is indeed true, then why is Harry doing this to his own children now? There's so much mystery and speculation around if these children even exist, and also, are they really came from Meghan's body and not from surrogates? You would think he would not want rumors being spread about the legitimacy of his children and settle it once and for all. I wouldn't put it past Meghan Markle to get a strand of her husband's hair and then also try and get a sample of King Charles's hair and then sent that off to a lab somewhere to get the answers around this in effort to figure out how she could weaponize that information. I wouldn't put it past her. The article now reveals, saying, he'll also touch on some of his most controversial moments, including being caught partying in Las Vegas in 2012, and those were the leaked photos of Harry that made headlines for weeks, and the offensive Nazi costume he wore to a party in 2005. And in quotes, it's been a painstaking process, says the second source, and very difficult for Harry to recount certain traumatic events from his childhood. At the same time, he found it cathartic, and at this stage, there are no regrets. That somehow sounds like Meghan Markle writing that. She always uses the word cathartic. Or could they have talked to the ghostwriter? So now the article goes back to the first source and it says the first source says Harry hit up people from his past, asking them to contribute to the book, but some of them didn't take too kindly to the request. He asked his friends and ex girlfriends to talk, spills the source, which really surprised and disappointed a lot of people in his inner circle. Harry had long forbidden those close to him from speaking about him publicly. They thought it was hypocritical of him, adds the source. Harry used to ruthlessly cut people out of his world if he even suspected they talked to the media. I think it was a smart move by the friends and the ex girlfriends to not contribute to the book because, some way, somehow, those words would most likely be manipulated to a place where it would be satisfying his wife. I can't see the wife being okay with talking to the ex girlfriends and gathering information about their past relationships. That would drive her mad. So, about the book details, Harry's already been rewarded handsomely for the memoir, which is said to clock in at 416 pages with the help of ghostwriter J.R. Moehringer. In quotes, he was paid an advance thought to be worth almost $50 million. What? That's ridiculous. It says it's believed that Harry will keep the advance, then donate proceeds and royalties to charity. In parentheses, it says the prince announced last year that 1.5 million of the proceeds would go to his charity, Bali. Well, guys, in the Bali annual report, it says that they received the 1.5 million already, but did not report it, and it will be listed for next year's report. So, how true is this? And if they got an advance of $50 million, then the Harkles are no way struggling for money if this is the case. So pay your own security and stop trying to grift off the backs of the American people and taxpayer, which alert the IRS because that $50 million needs to be taxed. Finally, the article ends. Now the royal family is bracing themselves. There's talk they are terrified of being blindsided and have their lawyers on standby should anything too salacious or damning be printed. Nobody in the family or the palace has seen the manuscript, says the first source. No one has had the opportunity to respond to any claims through their lawyers. Harry isn't too concerned about how they'll react. While Harry and William appear to be a united front while meeting with mourners in the days following their grandmother's death, the first source says the brothers haven't spoken in weeks, adding, they just feel they're on different paths. Harry's at peace with what he intends to share with the world. He's not worried about upsetting anyone, says the source. He refuses to live his life trying to make other people happy. I don't buy that Harry is at peace with putting out this book in January. I think short term, he might see it as a way out of not having to depend on his family for money because he's getting a check for 50 million in addition to the other stuff that they're working on, which would be the Netflix stuff. But once that money dries out, he's going to want to come crawling back to the family. But at that point, how badly are the bridges that he's burning down going to be? Also, how much influence do we think the wife had on this book? What I believe from just my observation and the recent rumor that's going around that they're separated, there could be some damning things in this book that the wife put in there as a way to get back at not only the family, but also at Harry. And in a separate video, I will be addressing the separation rumors and why I believe that it is true. So double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and that your notification bell is turned on, as you do not want to miss this video once it's dropped. As always, guys, thank you so much for all your love and support, and I will be back soon with more content. Until then, bye.
I was such a fraud.